Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to imagine a moment when life suddenly breaks apart, when a woman who had dreams, hopes, and a partner by her side opens her eyes one morning and realizes everything has changed. This is not just a story, it is a reminder that courage is often born from the most heartbreaking chapters of our lives. And if you stay with me till the end, you will witness how one brave widow transformed her pain into power and built a future no one believed was possible. She was a young mother, full of life, when tragedy knocked on her door without warning. In a single moment, she lost her husband, her emotional support, and her sense of stability. Friends whispered, "How will she raise her children alone?" Relatives doubted, society judged, and life pushed her to the ground. But instead of breaking, she quietly whispered to herself, "If no one believes in me, I will believe in myself." That whisper became her strength. And listen closely, because this is the hook that changes everything. Sometimes the strongest women are the ones who rebuild from ashes without ever asking for applause. She started with nothing. No savings, no comfort, no helping hand. But she had two precious reasons to keep going: her children. Every morning before sunrise, she worked small jobs, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, cleaning, sewing, tutoring, whatever could earn her enough to feed her family. She would go to bed exhausted, but never defeated. People often say that a mother's love is powerful, but a widow's courage is something extraordinary. It is the courage of someone who knows that failure is not an option because her children's future depends on her next step. Slowly, her hard work began to shape a new path. She learned new skills, saved every single rupee she could, and pushed herself to grow. She didn't wait for someone to rescue her. She became her own rescue. And as the years passed, her children watched her rise. They saw her sacrifice, her strength, and her unshakable determination. Those lessons became the foundation of the future she was building. And here comes another powerful truth. Sometimes a woman doesn't raise children. She raises future leaders through her own example. Her children completed their education, one by one, not because life was easy, but because their mother taught them that success is built, not given. The home that once felt empty grew warm again. The future that once seemed impossible became real. And the woman who once cried alone at night became a symbol of resilience and hope for everyone around her. She turned tragedy into strength the moment she realized no one else would fight for her children's future but her. When life shattered in front of her, she had every reason to give up, every excuse to collapse under the weight of grief, but she chose a different path, a path only the bravest women choose. In the darkest nights, when silence was louder than her heartbeat, she understood something powerful. No one was coming to save her. And that single realization became the spark that changed everything. Imagine standing in the middle of life's storm, with fear on one side and responsibility on the other, and still deciding to move forward. That's the kind of courage she carried. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, steady, and incredibly strong. And sometimes, the quietest decisions shape the loudest victories. Every morning when she looked at her children's faces, she felt a wave of determination rise within her. Their innocence, their trust, their hope, these were the reasons she refused to stay broken. She knew the world would not slow down for her pain, so she learned to rise with it. And here's the hook that defines her bravery. Most people wait for life to get easier before they start fighting, but she started fighting even when everything was painfully hard. She understood that strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you grow into when life leaves you no other choice. And instead of letting tragedy define her, she used it to fuel her purpose. She didn't have a plan, she didn't have a support system, but she had a promise to herself that her children would never feel the emptiness she felt. That promise pushed her through sleepless nights, long days, and overwhelming responsibilities. She became both the comfort and the courage her home needed. And though the world may have seen her as a widow, she saw herself as a warrior who couldn't afford the luxury of breaking down. Her strength wasn't built in a single moment. It was built in thousands of small decisions, wiping her tears before waking her children, pushing through exhaustion when her body wanted to rest, believing in tomorrow even when today felt impossible. And through this relentless perseverance, she transformed her tragedy into a stepping stone toward a better future, proving that when a woman decides to rise, nothing, not loss, not fear, not struggle, can stop her from rewriting her story. She worked multiple small jobs with dignity, proving that no job is ever small when it's done to protect the dreams of your family. In a world where people are quick to judge and slow to understand, she walked forward with her head held high, even when the work was exhausting and the pay barely enough to survive. What most people fail to see is that true strength often hides in ordinary places, in a woman sweeping floors before sunrise, in her hands sewing late into the night, in her quiet determination as she chooses responsibility over rest. And here's the hook that reveals her courage. While others saw these jobs as signs of struggle, she saw them as stepping stones, each one bringing her children a little closer to a future filled with possibility. Every task she took on carried the weight of her family's hopes. She didn't have the privilege of choosing what was easy, she chose what was necessary. Whether she was cleaning households, tutoring children, or stitching clothes for extra income, she approached each role with the dignity of someone who understood that purpose matters more than pride. Her days were long, her nights often restless, but she never allowed fatigue to dim her determination. For her, every coin earned wasn't just money, it was courage in physical form, proof that she was fighting for something bigger than herself. Her children watched her silently, absorbing lessons no classroom could teach. They saw her leave home before they woke and return long after the world slept, yet she always greeted them with a smile that hid her exhaustion. That smile was her silent way of telling them, "We may not have much today, but tomorrow will be different because I am working for it." And while the world might overlook women like her, the truth is that they are the backbone of every dream that ever comes true. This is where her story grips you. She turned survival into strategy and struggle into strength without ever losing her grace. Even when people whispered that she was doing too much, she kept moving because she understood a powerful truth: success is built on effort, not opinion. She never allowed society's judgments to dictate her worth. Instead, she transformed each humble job into a symbol of hope. Through her unstoppable drive, she taught her children that dignity isn't in the type of work you do, but in the purpose behind it. And with that purpose, she kept building, step by step, a future she once thought she could never reach. She rebuilt her life by learning new skills, saving every little earning, and pushing herself beyond limits she never knew existed. When the world expected her to simply survive, she made a bold decision to rise. And rising meant changing, adapting, and growing in ways that demanded courage every single day. She understood that staying the same would keep her life exactly where tragedy had left it, so she pushed herself into unfamiliar territory, embracing challenges that would have intimidated anyone else. Here's the hook that defines her journey. While many wait for opportunities to find them, she created her own by becoming a woman of skills, strength, and unstoppable determination. Learning something new was never easy for her. She didn't have a mentor or a guide, just an unwavering belief that knowledge could open doors her circumstances had closed. She sat with books late at night, practiced skills after long shifts, and refused to let self-doubt take root. Whether it was stitching, managing finances, tutoring, or handling small business tasks, she poured herself into everything she learned. Each new skill became a brick in the foundation of the life she was rebuilding, and each step forward made her realize she was capable of far more than she had ever imagined. Her savings were small, almost invisible to others, but to her they were precious. Every rupee she set aside carried a story of sacrifices made, temptations resisted, and dreams protected. She knew building a future wasn't about sudden miracles. It was about consistent effort, day after day, even when progress felt painfully slow. She treated her savings like seeds, believing that one day they would grow into opportunities for her children. And that belief fueled her discipline, even when life tempted her to give up. But the most remarkable part of her journey was the way she pushed herself beyond her emotional and physical limits. She faced fear, failure, and exhaustion, yet she walked forward with the attitude of a warrior who refused to retreat. She didn't allow setbacks to discourage her. Instead, she treated them as lessons. She reminded herself that strength doesn't appear when life is kind, it appears when life is cruel, and you decide to move anyway. And this is where her story truly captures the heart. She didn't rebuild her life because she had all the resources. She rebuilt it because she had all the reasons. Through her relentless growth, she became proof that a woman who invests in herself becomes unstoppable. Every challenge shaped her, every skill empowered her, and every sacrifice lifted her family closer to a future far brighter than the past she had overcome. She became a living example of resilience, raising children who grew up inspired by her courage and shaped by her strength. From the very first day she decided to stand tall after loss, she understood that her actions would speak louder than any words. Children watch, children learn, and children absorb the essence of the person guiding them, and she knew that if she wanted them to believe in themselves, she first had to believe in herself. Here's the hook that makes her story unforgettable. While many focus only on providing material comfort, she understood that the greatest inheritance a parent can give is the lesson of courage, perseverance, and dignity in the face of adversity. Her home, once filled with fear and uncertainty, gradually transformed into a sanctuary of hope. She instilled discipline, compassion, and ambition in her children, not by forcing lessons upon them, but by showing them through her own example. Every early morning she rose before the sun. Every long hour she labored tirelessly. Every small victory she celebrated quietly, taught her children a truth far more valuable than textbooks, that resilience is built, not given. And that strength is forged in the crucible of struggle. And here's the part that grabs attention. Her children didn't just witness her struggles, they witnessed her triumphs, and those triumphs became the blueprint for their own lives. Even when setbacks threatened to shake her family, she remained the unshakable pillar they could lean on. She taught them that challenges are inevitable, but surrender is optional. When others doubted, she showed faith. When life seemed impossible, she modeled determination. Her children learned to rise above fear because they had a living example who never let fear dictate her actions. They saw her courage in action, and slowly, those lessons took root in their hearts, growing into ambition, resilience, and integrity. What makes her story truly extraordinary is the ripple effect of her example. She didn't just build a future for her children, she built future leaders who carry forward her values, strength, and unwavering spirit. She proved that one woman's courage can influence generations, that the legacy of resilience is more powerful than any inheritance of wealth. And the most inspiring part? Her children grew not just into successful adults, but into compassionate, determined individuals who understood that the strength to overcome life's obstacles comes from within, and that the greatest victories are those fought with persistence, love, and unwavering belief in oneself. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close this story, remember this: strength is not about having a perfect life. Strength is about standing up when everything tries to break you. This widow built a better future from nothing, not because she had power, but because she had purpose. And today, her story reminds every woman listening, you're stronger than anything that tries to stop you. Your pain can become your power. Your struggle can become your success story. And your courage can build a future brighter than anything you ever imagined. Thank you